It's been a while. As you can see, my computer decided to update right when I turned it on. So you're not getting the full show, but my mic's not even hooked up. You're seeing me live on my phone. I'm back. You thought I was going somewhere. I wasn't going anywhere. Hopefully you can see this, but anyway, welcome to Smashing the Party. This is Nightcap. My name's Nate Bomberger. It's been a while. I'm sure you missed me. You're probably like, what the fuck, dude? I pay a subscription to this motherfucker and he doesn't do shit. Well, I got a jobby job and my jobby job's going well. I love it. I'll talk a little bit about that. But today, I'm going to just get right into it and talk about the thing that everyone's doing, at least if you're like me and you wait till the last fucking minute. It's fucking taxes. And this is something everyone fucking hates. And, people call it theft. And you got your friends that think, the government should be starved, starve the beast, man. And, there's some valid complaints there. But I want to talk more about why we have to file taxes and all that bullshit. And then I'm going to give you an update on what's going on in my life and talk to you about my lack of social media presence lately. And then I'm going to say thank you. So let's start off with today. Look, I don't fucking care. Judge me. You already know I don't, I have no filter. I don't really give any fucks about what you may think about me. You may hate me, but I filed my taxes on the last day. Okay. And, there's a lot of maybe emotional reasons why I do that. There's also maybe some innate procrastination that's built into this dynamic, the dynamo that you're looking at. But it comes down to the fact that I hate fucking filing taxes and I've got all these little tiny businesses and all this shit that I've got to claim losses on, quite frankly. And so, I'm not excited about it either. But I wanted to talk about the why. Why do they make us do this? The IRS knows how much you made in income. If you're a wage earner, you're W-2, even if you're 1099, they have a copy of your record. Really, there's a reconciliation that happens when you file your taxes, as they say, all right, yep, this looks like it matches what this is. And then they say, all right, no need to audit. They were close. Okay, no need to audit. Oh, wow, they're way off. We need to fucking audit them. And what's crazy is you're more likely to be audited if you're in the middle class or lower class than you are if you're rich, because rich people have really complicated tax returns. So it costs a lot of money to audit them and audit all their assets and do this stuff. And so you need people that understand that, all the different levels of tax loopholes that they use and whether or not they're valid or not. So this problem of filing taxes is really something the middle class and lower class, not even the lower class. I don't know if people in the lower class file. If you have no income, I don't know if you file. I don't know. When I was homeless, I didn't file. There were many years I didn't file because I didn't have any income, so I just didn't file. And I ended up having to pay it back. There was one year I actually got a refund of like $2,500 and I didn't file because I was that fucking dumb. Not dumb, just irresponsible and really not really worried about money at the time because I was obviously more concerned about the things I was doing. Now, you didn't check in to hear me rant. I'm gonna give you some fucking tea. And the tea is this whole tax dance that they make us go through that's pretty demoralizing, whether or not you're making a great income or not. Look, at one point, I guarantee you I was paying more than most. I was paying more than the median salary in taxes at one point. And I say that because I remember thinking like, this is bullshit that they don't just take an extra $10,000 and fucking give people, health care. It's annoying. But so I was at a point where, I had plenty of money in my mind. And I still thought, you know what, I'll pay more taxes if it helps somebody get health care. That being said, that's just because I'm a nice guy. That being said, the reason they make us go through this fucking stressful day is because we have folks like H&R Block and we have folks like TurboTax, Intuit, QuickBooks that have such a stranglehold on our legislatures and they have a huge lobbying force that they essentially pay millions of dollars to keep us tied into the system because they would lose a ton of revenue. Elizabeth Warren was on record recently saying that it's a scam to charge us. These companies are charging to do taxes. You know what? I agree with Elizabeth Warren on 99% on this point. I'll go further and say it's a fucking scam that the government allows these companies to operate this way. Take, for example, in Japan. In Japan, they send you a fucking postcard that says, here's what we think you owe. You're going to get a refund, or here's what we think you're going to get back in a refund, and then it's deposited in your account, because they know all the shit. They have all the information, so they don't make you go through this dance. It's such a weird old dance that we're doing with this fucking tax filing. They have the records. They know for 85% of the folks in this country, the IRS has all they need. They can estimate your taxes. In fact, they do it so well that they know whether or not they need to audit you. How do you think they know whether or not to audit you? It's typically because there's a discrepancy with what you're reporting with what they have. And so why is this important? Why am I talking about this on Smashing the Party? Nate, you like to talk about how fucked up the political parties are and how fucked up the Republicans are. And by the way, the Republicans are fucked up. I can go on and on and on, but that gets tired. And today's tax day, so we're talking about tax day because it's really how we fund the government. And if we can't even fucking collect the money and the revenue to fund the government without stressing out 95% of the 85% of the population, how the fuck are we ever going to have? And by the way, the other kind of cog in the wheel that this kind of the narrative that this helps to put on a pedestal is the narrative that government can't do anything and it's too complex because we all have to sit there and follow these forms. And that's a benefit. That's by design. That's why you won't see Republicans. They'll argue in a campaign, hey, let's just put it on a postcard. But the truth is they don't want that. The complexity helps to sell the idea that the government is bad for you and it's causing you problems, let alone it's taking your money. I saw somebody today right on here. It was a female, someone I respect. She said, the government raped me today. I was like, the fuck are you talking about? The government raped you? And I've never, I'm not going to talk about it, but let's just say that when I was in a relationship where it wasn't consented on me, I sure wouldn't compare that to paying taxes. Yeah, I was essentially fucking violated at one point in my life. That's some fucking other day, another dollar. Gonna have to pay for that content. But I found it offensive to say that the government's raping you. I mean, come on. The government's raping you. I don't like to pay taxes, but I guarantee you that girl paid less taxes than me. I guarantee it. And so I didn't feel like I was getting raped. I don't know. I don't understand how you equate the two. It sucks. But again, look at the country we live in. It's supposed to be the best country. Well, now I will say, as somebody who runs this podcast and this live stream, I have lots of complaints about it. But as far as freedom goes, we do have a lot of freedoms. Of course, we have one party that wants to shut it down and wants to not allow you to read certain books and prevent you from going out certain places and prevent you from looking at pornography and prevent you from doing X or doing Y because it kind of violates their whole their view of what they think the world should be like. I agree that's happening. But for the most part, we have a voice in this country, and we do have the potential to be even greater than we are now. Right now, we're struggling with the fact that we have no working parties. But I will say that you're not getting raped when you pay taxes. It's not like a rape. If you've ever talked to somebody that got raped, it's not like rape. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. When I was getting raped, it felt like I was paying taxes. That's not going to happen. And I get it. She was just using hyperbole, but I found it kind of like offensive to say that you're raped when, just because. Yeah. And I'm again, I don't want to call this person out because, that she may possibly watch this. But to just that kind of taxes helps to sell a narrative that one party's always pushing, and that is government is bad. I'm not saying, again, I don't believe the government should take everything you earn, but I do believe that when you're in this country and you've kind of come up, and if you feel you're at the point where the government's taking a lot of your money, most likely you're in a higher tax bracket and you probably aren't managing your money very well. Because I can honestly say that I don't think ever in my life, ever, no matter what position I was, including when I wasn't even paying taxes, was I in a position where I couldn't pay my taxes? Uh, most uh, Most importantly, it was because I was not doing things that were illegal. Well, that's not true. I was doing things that were legal. I don't know. I just never felt like, if I didn't pay my taxes, it wasn't because I couldn't afford it. It was because I was lazy and just stupid. Like I said, one year I got a return and I didn't even file because I was an idiot. But this whole system is geared. It's a feature that one party can use to continue to sell this notion that government's bad and they're stealing from you. We don't even have to have it be that way. But unfortunately, the folks that affect our laws, this is one of the huge negatives of America, is that we've essentially said that free speech equals money or money equals free speech. And so apparently, if you have a lot of money, you have more free speech. So it'd be like saying, all right, since you have a lot of money, you're allowed to have more guns. And everyone's going to say, well, that makes sense, right? But do you have more Second Amendment right than somebody else, or you just bought more end results? You just bought the end product, which the Second Amendment is protecting, as opposed to actually getting more speech. And so what I find troubling about the whole entire system we live in is we can't even have basic utility, because anybody that can profit from that utility is going to use their leverage to lobby Congress so that they can get a barrier to entry created around their industry. This stuff is taught in MBA school, by the way. Again, I'm not an MBA, but I'd love to have an MBA on here and tell me I'm wrong, but they're taught how do you protect your business? How do you go out and find a new do? How do you look for market share? How do you establish that your product is an MVP, or that your ID is going to stand? How do you market test it? And then they're also, once you have the company, how do you create barriers, or how do you protect your assets? How do so there's all this entire kind of wall that's built around a company and the profit model that's essentially part of capitalism, that says, hey, look, you got to do whatever you can to make sure that your revenue is protected. Unlike the government, which, again, depending on the party, says, the government doesn't need money. So even a basic thing like filing your taxes has become a profit driven model where we can't get out of it because we have lobbyists that essentially sell for H&R Block and TurboTax. And again, you and I don't have lobbyists. You and I have a vote, and that's about it. Sometimes we don't even have that if Republicans had their way, for sure. So, again, like I said, taxes on my mind. I figured this is, I am definitely slacking on my passion for politics, and one of the reasons is because it's kind of boring right now. But not only that, it's just kind of, we're getting to that midterm where crazy is starting to come out. And so, I start looking at the articles that are coming through my feed, and you're seeing that Republicans banned 57 books because they think it deals with critical race theory. So again, if you look at the blogs that I've written and you look at some of the posts I've been talking about, this shit's all being laid out. The fear factor's coming in. They're going to really push CRT. They're already starting to talk. They already talked about, the don't say gay bills that are passing. DeSantis down there is leading the charge. You've got abortion laws coming all around the country. And, you're going to hear the Republican candidate, especially the young whippersnapper, coming up, say, well, I'm going to put it on a postcard. No, he's not. That can't happen. A lot of the things that I talk about actually can't happen, unfortunately, because we have lobbyists that control it. We have folks that write legislation. If you watch this show, Medicare for All is my big fucking go-to. Why is it my go-to? Because it gives people real freedom. It prevents them from being tied to their job. We can't have that because the health industry will lose billions of dollars, and they're incentivized to make a profit on you and I as we get sick, as we get older. There's a whole industry. I would say, I'd like to say cottage industry, just because I love that term for some reason, but it's not a cottage industry. That, to me, that's something small. It's fucking huge. There's a huge industry that's built around me getting old and maximizing profits so they can extract all that money that I put in my savings and fucking, and essentially live the American dream, that late stage capitalism. That I'm going to start talking. I'm starting to use that word more often, by the way. If you don't know who Dan Price is, check him out. He's the CEO that started a company, decided to pay everyone $70,000, and his company's blown up. Everyone hated it, and he uses that term all the time. Back to taxes. So taxes is just another kind of a side effect. Our tax system and how it's built and how we interact with it is another side effect of the fact that we have nothing but lobbyists writing our laws, and including H&R Block and TurboTax. And so it doesn't make sense. And I, when I talk about healthcare, the same thing. When I talk about gun rights, it's the same thing. When I talk about private prisons, it's the same shit. We've got this country that's like, oh, we're market driven. And every single time we put something that is a collectively shared or collectively utilized feature, like for instance, we all can probably logically come to the conclusion that we need a prison and it's something we should share. And the idea that it should be profitable drives me insane. How the fuck are you going to make money on somebody being in prison? Well, that's not a far stretch when you're already making money off somebody having cancer, somebody having, some kind of chronic disease. Diabetes is a fucking boon. If you get fucking diabetes, they're going to make tons of money. You're essentially like a cash cow. The way they charge for insulin, actually not anymore. But taxes is another kind of thing that we just kind of come to conclude that it's part of American culture, and we deal with it. We all file our tax. We all get stressed out. Sometimes we're paying CPAs. Maybe the CPA lobby is also against paying taxes because they would lose a lot of money as well. But it's not that hard to file your taxes, to be honest with you. It's really not that difficult. Even if you have complex stuff, it really is straightforward. It's just the time of filling out that form. And what blows my mind is every single fucking year you can Google articles of why does America do our taxes this way, and we just kind of go, oh, no big deal, no big deal. And so we got a lot of no fucking big deals. And something that did trigger me today, watching my feed, and a gentleman by the name of Matt Johnson, who works in immigration locally. He does a lot of stuff. I met him on the Obama campaign years ago, and he's kind of in the know in that, social community kind of helping service nonprofit deal. He made a post about affordable housing. And of course, Mike Sterla comes in and says, oh, the facts aren't what you think, and makes this big post. And so he talks about how, all these things. And then of course he pivots to make sure that nobody knows it's his fault. He's doing everything he can to fucking fix affordable housing. He's been here for fucking 30 years. He's it's all the county's fault. It's all the county. What the fuck? Go fucking talk to the fucking commissioner then. But that's an example of what we get when you show somebody, hey, what are you doing to fix this problem? Taxes are a fucking easy problem, but what you get is everybody's going to say, well, it's too complicated, or it's this. And it's so short-sighted, because what it comes down to is laziness. These fuckers are lazy. They're fucking lazy. I'm telling you, they should be on a fucking podcast. They should be doing something, some kind of outreach. Instead, they're fucking getting waxed at fucking Mar-a-Lago, and fucking, letting Trump set his balls on their face. And Democrats are busy fucking, Tweedledee-ing each other and fucking flaccidly allowing the Republicans to stomp all over them. In the meantime, we can't get nice shit here, because politicians are built to push the blame or pivot or filibuster or deflect, and so you have them constantly deflecting. And when I see someone like Mike Sterla, who I used to work for, who I know somewhat, I'm not going to say intimately because that'd be weird, but I will say that, I wasn't that impressed. And I wasn't that impressed when I worked with him. And part of the reason why I quit, unbeknownst to him, was because I was like, you got to be fucking shitting me. And so that's somebody that is on the same party that you may think that I'm affiliated with, and that certainly probably doesn't like me talking shit. I talk shit about about Lloyd Smucker more, But it comes down to there, when you're kind of sitting on the fringes of politics and you see these folks kind of deflecting and it's tax day and you're thinking, why the fuck is this the way it is? And then you look online and you see somebody make a post about, a politician make a post about something clearly they know a lot about. I mean, he knows a lot about the housing situation in this fucking city. His wife's a fucking realtor, a fucking major realtor, commercial property realtor, developer style realtor. And so he knows the fucking truth. But again, he's deflecting and he's just suggesting that it's somebody else's fault. And in the meantime, we're just going to accept that it's the status quo. And then next year will come around and he'll fucking get back on there and he'll say, I'm going to run, it's analogous to the fucking candidate saying, I'm going to put the tax code on fucking a card. And then of course, when he gets elected again, he just kind of goes back to fucking rebuilding his kitchen or growing his wine cellar, whatever the fuck that guy does. So this is, this problem that we have with taxes is like a multi-pronged, problem. There's multiple kind of facets to it. And part of it, I'd say a primary reason is because we can't get anything done when we have lobbyists that control these people. These people work for cash money. They're fucking, the system has essentially said, the more you raise, one of the first questions they ask you when you want to be a candidate is like, how much do you think you can raise? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just want to change lives, right? Nope, 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 nope. I just want to simplify the tax code. Nope, 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 nope. I would just love for everybody to have fucking healthcare and not fucking die broke. Nope, 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 nope. These are all things that you'd think if you get anybody in a room by themselves, they would say, yeah, that's a good idea. But the system is built that we can't even fix it, even though individually we all know how fucked up it is. And so taxes are another one of those things where we just come to accept that taxes are part of the way of life. And every year you got to fucking grit your teeth and fucking file, and you got to fucking stress out to file your fucking taxes. And guess what? The Republicans like, see, I told you this fucking place is fucked up. Government's bad, man. They're stealing your money and fucking makes, we want to lower taxes. We don't want them to steal your money. And meanwhile, what does that mean? That means that we're going to take the money that we do make and spend it on fucking military industrial complex. We're never going to return that money back to you in any kind of benefit because God forbid, that's entitlement. You're not entitled to shit. Barely entitled to your fucking Bill of Rights, according to Republicans, but that's a whole nother fucking story. The bottom line today is you and I fucking hate paying taxes. I know it's a necessity. I believe that we should fund the government. I don't believe that the government should run off of my back, but I do believe that we all should contribute to it because it's what helps to keep this place civil. Now, I'm not thrilled with it. I think there's a lot of dismantling that could be done from what the colonizers of this country have done to this country, and including the idea folks that set up the central bank and all the economic bullshit that we're tied into. And don't listen, libertarians. I know you fucking just got a hard on because I said central bank. Just calm the fuck down. This isn't your day. I promise. I'll get on that another day, and we'll talk about the gold standard and how fucking dumb that shit is. But taxes suck. We could have a better tax system. We can't have a better tax system, just like every other fucking thing I talk about on this show. Every fucking other thing I talk about on this show comes down to we can't have nice things because the money controls what we get. And the folks that we elect that we think are, public servants, they're not fucking public servants. They're in there to get fucking, shiny new wheels or get prestige, or in Ted Cruz's, case, trying to build their social media empire so they can have something post election, I guess. I don't know. But if you're watching this, you're thinking, what the fuck, Nate? This makes no sense to me. I don't know why you're talking about this. Look, the first thing I hear from Republicans when at least the Republican that considers themselves to be open-minded, is they'll just, throw out a tax and spend to Democrats. And I'm like, how about fucking looking at taxes as a way to fund our government? And how about we take it seriously and we say, all right, now that I'm paying in, I want to participate in this fucking crazy thing we call democracy. And so I want to have a voice because I'm really pissed off about where my money is going. But you know what? What do we have? 51%, 61% turnout. when a presidential election, way lower during midterms. But people love to bitch. People love to say how bad Joe Biden is, even though they don't even fucking know what's going on. They're just saying it because it's easy and it's group thing. People love to bitch about the tax code, but no one's really going to elect somebody that's going to change it. And they don't really care when it comes to money in politics. All of a sudden, everyone kind of gets silent, and you kind of say, well, that's how the system works. And this is how the system works. And it's, just do a Google search and try to look, take a look at what they're doing in other countries. It's so fucking crazy. And you can't tell me that there are people in other countries that don't have complex situations or what we might consider complex. Maybe they don't because they have a simpler tax code. Again, why can't we have a simpler tax code? Because it's built for loopholes. A friend of mine who is a fucking genius and also a tax attorney said that the law is pretty explicit and actually says there are a lot of the reasons that people skip out on taxes is because there are loopholes that are built in or they're not clear, and they take advantage of that ambiguity. And so, simplifying it makes sense, but when you come out with the solutions that people talk about to simplify it, you realize that the brunt of the tax, the tax debt is going to fall on middle class folks. So that's why it's a non-starter. But a tax cut for billionaires is fucking perfect because for whatever reason, all the little Elon Musk fucking sycophants come out of the woodwork and say, why would you want to tax him? I even had a guy that went to my former alma mater, Pete. I know you don't watch anymore, but this motherfucker, tried to make a case that if we tax billionaires, and he kind of wrote out, this guy's a brilliant, he's an engineer. He wrote out how they would over time, where he kind of walked me through how over time they would eventually end up broke. So if you tax someone with billions of dollars, they have it was talking about taxing their capital gains. And so he made the argument that ultimately these folks are just going to run out of money, as if a billionaire is going to stop investing. Maybe they need to keep on hustling. Maybe they should keep on hustling. Maybe that's why we should tax billionaires. Hey, you hustled all the way back. What? You think you get a break? No one else gets a break. Keep on hustling. You think they work twice as hard as you? Get the fuck out of here. So taxes bring up all kinds of things. I could kind of wax on poetically for hours, just talking about the implications of taxes and how people view them, and how one party likes to use that. Both parties use that as leverage, and also in a way to strike fear in everybody, and also to reinforce the idea that government's bad and it's too complex and they're stealing from you. And this is an easy sell. Again, these are easy things. Being a Republican is so fucking easy because all you have to do is just go, that sounds like it might scare people. Yeah, let's go with that. This sounds restrictive and fucking really reinforces my Judeo-Christian values. So let's go with that. All kinds of shit. But taxes come down to what we get out of our government. And so when you want to bitch about or suggest that you got raped when you paid taxes, I'm going to have a problem with that. I don't give a fuck how liberal you are. It's fucking not rape. It's not rape. It's not even close. But you did get a whole bunch of likes. And you got a whole bunch of people to say, yeah, me too. Me too. I got laid down, held down, and fucked by the government. No, you didn't. No, you fucking didn't. And so I will tell you right now, most likely I paid more in taxes than you. And most likely I will tell you that I don't understand the whole kerfluffle other than the paperwork. Get the fucking paperwork out of my face. Make it happen transparently. And you probably will get folks, and by the way, Republicans know this, you probably will get folks to say, yeah, this card looks right. Cool. Toss it and be done. That's your tax day. Oh, great. I get my tax card on April 1st. It says they're owing me money. Cool. I think that's right. I'm not going to dispute it. Done. That's the fucking way you should file. And then guess what? Now all of a sudden, government's doing something efficiently. Mail-in balloting, government's doing something efficiently. Got to take that away. U.S. Post Office was efficient. You figure you can send a fucking piece of mail from here to California for what, 50 cents now? Am I dating myself? Is it $1? I don't know. I don't fucking send mail. But, again, that's a good thing. We're going to try to take that. We got to dismantle that. That's something that should be privatized, because then we're going to add a layer of profit to it, and we can extract profit. We can't extract efficiency. We can extract profit. Once we turn efficiency into cash dollars, then we can extract it and we make money. So this is how things work. Systems are built for people to make money. Jeff Bezos for years lost money. Now he's got a system that's hard to beat. The government could do that. If we thought of the government as a service, the government could become a one of the largest fucking commerce places if it wanted to. Again, people would get upset because the government's selling something, but instead we've let somebody we have no voice in, and who's out banging hookers and sending people to space, and we can't have nice things because Jeff Bezos has got to wax his head. I don't know. It's just fucking weird. Look, I am definitely trying to. I'm gonna just say this on the tax thing. Pay your fucking taxes. Don't wait till the last minute like me and look like a complete idiot. But also start thinking about why you're paying those taxes, and maybe that should change the level of participation that you have in this country, because again, you're vested, and if you're not like me, you probably have children. And what the fuck are you doing for your kids? Watching education be fucking, they don't even have there's schools locally that are talking about removing their music program, that are talking about cutting sports. And y'all are okay with that just because you don't want to pay more taxes, and God forbid your kid have a life that is filled with extracurricular activities. I'm sure you'd rather just have them come home right away and start dealing with their riffraff. No, you don't. Again, these are things that would improve the quality of your life. Just participate, pay attention, get the fuck out of your bubble. And, when you're going to make hyperbolic statements and use rape, I would kind of try to keep that a little bit more realistic in what you're comparing it to. So, look, I'm going to end the tax thing. You can probably tell I'm exhausted. I'm working like a crazy man. I love my job. I do want to talk about my job because one of the reasons why I'm excited about it is because when I went into the company, I knew the CEO, and he had always been kind of okay with watching my podcast or talking to me about progressive things, and he's always posted progressive stuff. But I've come to the conclusion this company's the real deal and how they treat their people. And so it can be, when I was in consulting, I'm not going to talk shit, but I will say that they still have a racist working there. But yeah, you do. But I will say, I definitely didn't get a feeling that there was a culture that was being initiated, meaning like, hey, this is the way I want it to be here where I work. It was more about, hey, here's how I want work to get done, and here's where we want to go. What I love about the company I'm at now is they actually say, all right, here's the culture we want. Had some issues, had some, one of my first days there, they kind of threw me into the wolves and had to interact with another developer. It was just going through a rough time, and they kind of pulled him aside, and we're helping him. We're going to mentor him. We're going to make sure he's a fucking kick-ass person. And I love that. And they've kind of tasked me with doing some of this stuff. And to me, that just says that I picked the right company, just because, a lot of companies would have said, fuck it. No, the company I work for reached out, found out there were some issues. They're helping him resolve those. And, he came in today kicking ass because he has a new kind of lease on life. So one of the things I'm really happy about is my job, but it is tiring. It's hard to do both. I'm in the phase where I'm learning a whole new system. So look, I'm all or nothing, and I'm just trying to go balls to the wall to make sure that I can secure my job and be the best I can be, so that I can make more money and I can fucking make sure that this fucking thing takes off. So just want to say, you're going to have to bear with me. I didn't miss a beat. I did miss one day the last week. I think I missed. I don't know how. I think I did a little one, but it didn't post or some shit. But I'm still in the game. I'm still here. The reason I took the job was because I want more money so I can do more fun things, and I'm really not a kick-ass entrepreneur apparently. So I'm going to have to go the old-fashioned way and just get a high-paying job, which I'm lucky to do. So, but I wanted to tell you, I know that there's a lot of folks that support me. I know people are still subscribing, and I appreciate it. And I'm going to ask you to continue to do that. I'm still going to be on lives. I'm still going to be talking about things. It's a little bit harder right now to figure out a cadence. I'm still trying to get that straight, because program is one of those things where it's like your head's in that, and then to get out, for me at least, I kind of go into this mode And then when I come out of it, it's just I'm kind of like, whoa, wow, what the fuck's going on? So I feel like my brain kind of works differently when I'm in engineering mode. And so it's going to take a little time for me to get used to that cadence. That's number one. Number two, shit's been kind of boring lately. I mean, when I say boring, that's a good thing for Christ's sake. I mean, yeah, inflation's high, prices are annoying, and Joe Biden, sometimes looks like he's going to fall over or die. But my lord, is it night and day over having some sycophant or some narcissistic motherfucker that would do anything to make sure his narcissistic supply was full, including hopefully not, but including push a fucking nuclear button. So, it's been a little tough for me to transition to a passion move where this is a lot of passion driven stuff. And so I'm working all day and I'm like zombified. And then, I got to come on here and fire you guys up. I can do it, but it's just going to take me a little while to get into. So be patient. By the way, like I said, my computer just updated and it's finally working. So next time, hope you see me. Hopefully, I'll be on my computer. That being said, a couple updates. First of all, as I said, job's going well, personal life's going good. I need some fucking help getting my ass in shape. I definitely I'm getting fat. So that's been a little bit frustrating. So it kind of slows me down. All these things, why are they important? It's because that's who I am. Like I need to be feeling good and fired up to deliver and talk about things. Has been consistently just a rant from me. And so, as I try to open this up and try to do different things, I need that energy and I need to keep that passion going. And my health is mediocre. You could say that maybe I had a little bit of a rough winter with drinking. That's possible. I might argue with you just because I like to argue, but you might be right. You might be wrong. You might not be. But either way, it kind of wore me down. And so I'm kind of on this kick to change some behaviors. And so that's going to be a good thing for the show as well. The other thing that's cool is the place I work now pays for an office at the Candy Factory. And Candy Factory is a local co-working spot. I was a member of a co-working spot in Philly. It was awesome. I'm really excited about it though. They do a lot of cool stuff. Really cool. If you don't know, you should check it out. It's pretty awesome. You can get desks for like $100. I have a full-time desk, so I get a key access. The best thing about that, though, is that they have a studio. And I haven't been over to check the studio out yet, but I think there's a lot of potential there for the stuff that Taylor and I are working on, as well as the stuff that I want to do for Smash the Party. So a lot of good things happening. I did shift gears, though. I'm no longer just staring into the abyss of politics 24/7. I'm having to break it up with some good tech stuff. And I'm actually enjoying programming again, which, I kind of burn out just because I was burning the candle at both ends. So I'm finding balance. I'm really getting better at finding balance. And I'm even doing some fucking meditation shit, believe it or not, motherfuckers. So things are good for me on the personal level, which means, the health could be a little bit better just because I'm feeling sluggish. I haven't played soccer for a while. And that sluggishness kind of rolls into my whole persona. And so I need to take care of that so I can give you guys the best I got. We're going to change hearts and minds, right? What else? I think that was it. That's really all I have. I really love the fact that everybody checks it out. People are asking me what's going on. I haven't been doing a good job with Facebook. I'm pretty much mentally over Facebook, but I know that they're the big player and I have to keep my presence there. And I have not. I've said I was going to, but I have failed completely at generating TikTok content because it's hard for me to whittle down this fucking live stream down to fucking an hour. How am I going to whittle down a thought into 30 seconds, which drives me nuts? Like we're in the 30-second mode where everyone just has a short attention span and you can't, you gotta run in that lane if you want to capture people's attention. And the shit that I talk about is not that fucking interesting to a lot of people and it's boring. And I try to spice it up by, dropping some powerful anecdotes and using strong language, but the truth is no one really gives a fuck until shit happens to them. And so some of the concepts that I talk about people care about, like healthcare, because that really affects everybody, but who cares about education? We don't have any kids. Even parents that have kids don't care about education. So but that being said, things are good. I'm really feeling like I'm finding my kind of my balance across between my vices and my hobbies and my work and my ambitions. I've been doing a real good job at keeping things level, and so that's the goal for the summer. You know, if I can get my body in shape and start feeling good about that, I think I'll be able to do better shows and hopefully share more about who I am and what I want to do and paint the picture for a better America on this motherfucker. So I also met at the Candy Factor writer, another writer that's interested in helping me do my stand-up stuff. And so nothing has changed other than I got a job and you're gonna see me with my eyes dragging a little bit because I'm gonna fucking work the shit out of this. That's all I got. Leave a comment. Tell me that it's good to see me. Tell me you're like, fucking go back, start, quit, get a life. Make sure you like, subscribe. It helps. Just fucking do it. Just fucking like it. It does something for the algorithms like it. And all you got to do is click it. It doesn't cost you anything. You're not hurting me by not doing it because eventually people are going to do it. But it helps if you do it now because I get to where I'm going faster. Anyway, you know the deal. I will be back at 10:30 tomorrow, hopefully on my computer. It looks like, yeah, it updated. This is how long it's been since I logged in this computer. When I sat down to log in, I forgot my password. I was like freaking out. Like 10 minutes before the thing, I'm like, what the fuck? And as soon as I logged in, it just started its update deal. So I got a work computer that I've been spending a lot of time on, and I don't do anything personal on it. So you can probably guess I've been working a lot. But you have to work in the beginning to get good at this. So bear with me. Anyway, I've said enough. I went over time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting me. Share, like, tweet, follow, all that shit. And make sure if you see how good these shirts make me look, even my fat ass. By the way, I'm not that fat. I shouldn't use that word. I apologize. I'm not trying to fat slam anybody. But I'm kind of hard on myself about that because I'm an athlete and I end up kind of letting my shit go to waste every now and then. But anyway, even on fat me, this shirt looks dope. So get a Smash in the Party shirt, get a hat. The hats are dope. It's fucking summer. Get a tank top if you got some guns. Thanks for checking in. I will be back tomorrow at 10:30. Again, I appreciate all the love. You guys are dope. Everyone is really awesome at supporting me. And like I said, I got some good messages today from some folks that really kind of pump me up and keeps me going. So I love it. Let's keep changing hearts and minds. Make sure you call your senator or your fucking congressperson about the dumb shit they're trying to do in Congress. Don't fucking wait.